Hello and welcome to the VKViewer video on the valve calendar. When we're inside of VKViewer, we have the ability to be on the calendar or see the calendar from the Repairs List tab, Repairs List Valve Calendar, or from the Valve Tree tab. On the Valve Tree tab, the calendar is accessed by this button here. So let's go back to the repair list for our training for all plants for it, and let's investigate the valve calendar a little bit. I'm going to add some columns to my grid. Right now I've got date tested, manufacturer, tag number, and most recent. I'm going to come into my columns command and I'm going to choose the next maintenance date to add to it. So we now have date tested and next maintenance date as our columns. I'll click apply to apply those columns. And now we can take a look at the two kinds of calendars that are available in VKViewer. Remember, I'm on training and all plants for it, and I'm currently in most recents. The calendar that I'm going to look at first, I'll click on the valve calendar button, is going to be the coming due and past due calendar. And what this is going to do is it is going to draw me a calendar showing me all of the next maintenance dates in a calendar or list result. So the question that I'm answering here is show me all of the valves that are coming due for maintenance, or show me all of the valves that are past due for maintenance. And that number and those results are generated by the next maintenance date field inside of VKViewer. Clicking on the coming due past due calendar takes me to the results, and you see here February 23, which happens to be where it is today, the 20th. In this month, on the 1st we had 5 relief valves, we had 14 relief valves on the 2nd. On the 3rd of March we have 16 relief valves. If I want, I can go ahead and I can include other types of equipment inside of my calendar. So I'm going to include control valves, line valves, and the actuators. I will redo my analysis. And now you notice that I've got my calendar redrawn and it includes control valves. So for example, on the 20th today, there was one control valve due. Let's take a look here. On the 2nd of February, there was 14 relief valves that were due. So these are now past due. If I click on the 2nd, I'm going to get the list of all of the valves, all 14 of them, that were due for repair on that day. Again, I can click on the details button to take a look at them, and if there was different kinds of equipment due on that day, they would be available in these tabs. I'll go ahead and I'll close out of that. Going back in time, taking a look at months where valves were due. Remember, back in time, these are now past due valves. Same idea. We have all of our dates, we have all of the values that of the count of the valves that were due on that day. Going forward in time, I can take a look at all of the valves that are coming due. So here's August 2015, and on the 2nd of August 2015 I have 2 relief valves due for repair. Clicking on them shows them in the grid. I can click on the details to take a look at the details of them as well. I will close back out of that and I will bring me back to my calendar of results. That's interesting, but there's also another way that I can take a look at it. Here I can take a look at it by valves specifically, and so on the by valve equipment tab I've got the list of them. I can take a look at it by week, I can take a look at it by month, and I can take a look at it in a chart view. In the chart view, what I end up seeing is all of the years that a valve is either past due or coming due for repair in 2006 through 2022, and I've got the breakdown of control line, actuators, and relief valves, and here they are appearing inside of a bar chart stacked grid below. Taking a look at it by month allows me to do things like determine all of the valves that should have been repaired in 2000 and let's say 9, if I wanted to take a look at all of them at once. Here I've got 2009, 49 months ago there was one relief valve. I will multi-select all of the 2009 months, and this is showing me all of the valves that were past due for maintenance and should have been done in 2009. And there we go, we have them all. I can now say view the events, and that gives me the grid of all of the valves, the 13 relief, 4 control valves that were due in 2009. If I come back over to my month summary, and remember I have selected all of the valves that were due for maintenance in 2009, so these are all past due, I can take a look at the parts that needed to be replaced, and then I can pre-order them. Same idea with going forward in time to take a look at upcoming repairs. If I wanted to take a look at all of the parts that I need to order for all of the repairs that are coming in the future, so all of the repairs that are going to be in 2014, I go ahead and I can check 2014's, and those are all of the 2014 valves coming due. And I can go ahead now and take a look at all of the valves that they are, and I can also take a look at the parts that need to be replaced in those repairs as last recorded by our technicians. So this is a really easy, handy way for me to take a look at my coming due and past due valves. This calendar is a very visual and powerful way for me to take a look at what is going on with my valves in the past and coming up in the future. If I close out of my valve calendar, I go back to my repair list. The other thing that I can do is I can take a look at the repairs that were performed. So essentially that is going to be the valve calendar, but it's going to be on the date tested field. So coming due past due is on the next maintenance date, and the repairs performed is on the date tested. The most likely scenario that I'm going to be taking a look at is all of my repairs, because I want to take a look at the repairs of the valve no matter how many times it's been repaired. I could do it on just the most recent, but it does make the most sense to take a look at all repairs. So I switch to all repairs, training all plants. I'll click on my valve calendar. I'll say repairs performed. And the interface is very similar. I've got a calendar view which comes up by default, and I'm going to go back in time and I'm going to look for months where repairs were performed. As I scroll through, you see in April of 2012 on the 4th there was 4 relief valves. There was on the 26th 3 relief valves. Again, I can include all of the different equipment types, so I will go ahead and I'll do that. I will redo the analyze. And now you see in April of 2012 we actually had a control valve that was repaired on the 5th as well. So again, what I'm looking at here is the date tested analysis. So this is showing me all of the valves that have been repaired. I can come in and take a look at it by week. I can take a look at it by month and by chart. So here you see from 1999 through to 2013 all of the repairs that have been performed. They're all broken down here in a stack chart as well. And interestingly, if I wanted to look at it by month, in other words, group them to see all of the repairs that were done in, let's say, 2010, I come to my by month tab. I'll scroll down to 2010. So minus 27 months ago was 2010-11. I'm going to go back and I'm going to multi-select all of the 2010s. And there we have all of the 2010 months. And I can take a look at all of the valves that were repaired in 2010 by clicking the events view. And that's the list of them all. I can also come back and I can take a look at the repairs that the parts that were replaced. And that's the list of all the parts that were replaced inside of all of those repairs that were done in 2010. And coming back to the by month view, you can take a look at anything you want. There you notice that I did it for 2010. You can do it in any other month setup that you want. That is a great overview of the valve calendar command, and we will update other analysis functions inside of other videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.